Think we're all still trying to figure out what Butch Jones means when he's talking about can a duck pull a truck and the whole Dr. Seuss line back and forth, back and forth. But when you make comments like that and you lose the big games like Butch Jones has in recent years, most specifically last year, you look like a moron. But if you pull the game out, you look like a genius. And so it was Butch Jones, the idiot, in the first half, down at 21-0, then 21-3. Butch Jones, genius and vindicated for this football program with a 38-28 win, scoring 35 consecutive points and coming back against what many would consider, me included, one of the best defenses in the country. All right, Mark Rogers TV and SEC breakdown, breaking it down. Josh Dobbs started the game 1 for 8, and most of that was not his issue. So he did make some horrible throws along the way in the first half, but much of it, the pass rush for Florida, was in the backfield constantly in his face. His receivers not getting open. When his receivers did get open, there were tons of awful dropped passes in this game. Ethan Wolf in particular dropped some big passes in the first half, and Tennessee got down again 21-0, kicked the field goal to make it 21-3, and went for it on fourth down near the goal line. Alvin Kamara dropped a pass, and it looked like Tennessee had the big game jitters, felt the pressure of losing 11 consecutive games in this series, the weight of the program being on the line. Would Tennessee break through and become an SEC, a true contender in this conference, or back down to mediocrity? This has been the weight of the program for a number of years. Tennessee, one of the great traditions in college football, really not a factor on the national stage for almost 10 years now. Butch Jones has built up great recruiting class after great recruiting classes, 3 straight in particular. It's come to fruition. These guys are now juniors and seniors. This was the game for them against the defending division champ, and it looked like it was coming unglued in the first half. But he made a comment at halftime, and it seemed like despite being behind, that he felt very comfortable with his team being as good as Florida or better than Florida, just making mistakes and needing to make the plays and to concentrate. And they came out in the second half, and that first drive, Butch Jones said it during halftime, was huge, and they had to score, and they did score. And Josh Dobbs, we mentioned the opening numbers. He finished at 16 of 32. That's not incredible, but hit for 319 yards and huge plays late in the third quarter, early fourth quarter when Tennessee took the lead, to Josh Malone, to Josh Smith. Big plays in coming back for the victory. It's remarkable that the Florida defense put complete clamps on this Tennessee offense, was constantly in the backfield, locking up receivers downfield with what many consider, with guys like Quincy Wilson, with the great end zone interception where he beat the wide receiver to the football. Jalen Tabor, best defensive backs in college football as a group. But then they started to get burned in the second half. It was a complete reversal. Tennessee started to dominate the line of scrimmage in the second half. An amazing performance, amazing comeback, considering the pressure on this team to perform and perform against this team on this stage. Tennessee fans, we would love to hear from you. Florida fans, in your misery, if you can give us a comment as well about Tennessee coming back in this one inexplicably and winning 38-28. The Vols now take on Georgia in Athens next week. We would expect this to be a good game, a big game, but of course Georgia flattened by Ole Miss, not looking good in any of its recent outings against the like of Nicholls State and against Missouri. Florida's got to get off the deck. They've got a game against Vandy next week. Let's talk it up right here on Mark Rogers TV and SEC Breakdown.